This is a little underwhelming. Hi everyone, welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video we're going to take a look at the it's hard to say, I was going to say newly released. Usually I say newly announced or newly released. This has been announced about 2 years ago at this stage, just under 2 years ago. I think this was supposed to come out last year. I believe this was originally scheduled for a release in 2023, but it's been delayed and delayed and delayed. And I gotta say, there's a lot of confusion on this. I don't know if this is actually released yet, or at least released to China, or released to kind of, I suppose, the top or the more popular content creators for like the review batch or the bloggers, whatever. It's strange. Like when Hot Toys does things, even though like there's a lot about INART's communication I quite like, but when Hot Toys does things, when they do an announcement, you know, it's all over their official Facebook and their official Instagram, and you know, like this is going to go pre-order soon, and there's a bunch of different photos of the prototype. Similarly, when something gets released, there's a bunch of different blogger photos from different photographers, and it's very clear that this is now announced and this is now released. But with INART, what we kind of tend to see, even though I am a fan of, I only have one of their products, the Rooted INART 2-pack. I've been blown away by a lot of their prototypes, and from what I understand, the Gandalf is impressive, and so is the Pennywise. This is one I'm interested in, but my point is they kind of have these, like, they're almost like soft releases where they don't just kind of like put up a bunch of photos and go, this is out now, we're proud to announce this is our final product. Because for the last few weeks, we've got posts like this here, where they basically put up two photos, this one and this one. They kind of said, look, we apologize, we apologize, it's not out yet, it's going to be delayed. And then yesterday this came out. My initial thoughts were, is this an April Fool's? And I was thinking, okay, that's probably wishful thinking. I am interested in this. I do have the Hot Toys one on order, the deluxe one with the modular base and the bat signal. I think it's very impressive from what I've seen from photos, in-hand photos that people have, or reviews and stuff like that. I was of the train of thought that I think this one is going to be better, and I have the single rooted Batman on order, because if you remember, there's a single rooted Batman. God, actually, it's very hard to remember all this. I think I'm going to try this. There was the single rooted Batman. There was the single sculpted Batman. I think you could get the single rooted Bruce Wayne and the single sculpted Bruce Wayne again, or you get the all-in, which has the rooted Batman, the rooted Bruce Wayne, and the bat signal. I think I have that right. If I've got that wrong, please let me know in the comment section down below. So I would be interested in the rooted single one, and I was thinking, okay, like I'm not going to buy this and not display that fantastic head sculpt, or from the prototype images at least, and I could have the Hot Toys one for the cowl on. Let's take a look at some of these images. So I don't know if this is actually officially released yet. Like if we take a look at, the the little blurb they have there. Pardon me. INART The Batman 2022. So this is yesterday at 11:33 a.m. my time. The Batman and Bruce Wayne production images. We deeply appreciate all collectors' patience. It's our pleasure to share with you the latest images of the Batman and Bruce Wayne from the Batman 2022. Okay, so that suggests it's not released. They're just giving you some more updates. And at INART, we uphold the highest standards for production with meticulous attention to detail, numerous mold adjustments, and thorough checks. We're proud to unveil. Okay, this is the final figure you've been waiting for. Okay, so it's like this is the final figure, but they haven't said it's like released yet. If you catch what I'm saying, it's not clear. It's like, okay, this is the final figure, but they're not saying these are now available for, I know, collection, or they're going to start being shipping, of course, or whatever. We sincerely apologize for the delay. As always, your feedback is invaluable to us. Let's take a look at some of these images. So my initial thoughts when I first saw the prototype images going up was, it looks good, but it looks a bit skinny. That was back nearly 2 years ago. I thought just the photo of him with the just standing, the full length image in the batsuit with the cape and with the cowl on, I thought it looks a bit skinny, because I remember like in the way he carried himself, the way Robert Pattinson walked in the suit was very kind of like upright, and it did look armorized around him. Like he wasn't massive, like say obviously his own physical body wasn't the same as say Ben Affleck in the DCU, or Bale in Batman Begins, and in the suit it wasn't a huge kind of suit like Affleck was really, but it was kind of, it was there, like it was definitely, you could see it was armored around him. And then when I saw the prototype images, I was thinking it's a bit skinny. And then when I saw this, I was like, okay, this looks like a bit jacked. The head looks a little small, and I've seen someone online already. I knew it was only a matter of time before it happened, where they did a Beetlejuice thing where they took the head and they even shrunk it down a bit more. And maybe it would look different with the cape and the cowl on. I think this is really strange, the way that they've done this. From what I understand here, obviously this is the rooted single. I think on the left here that's sculpted. It looks a different shine off this. I know it's out of focus, maybe that's it, but I think this is the sculpted. The back looks rooted then. Over here that looks sculpted. Again, just from what I can see here, it's hard to tell because of course there's only this one in focus. Very strange way of going about, if this is the official final product, very strange way of putting these out there, because the photos, they're not great. They seem well lit, but what I wanted to see, and hopefully maybe they'll do it today, maybe they'll do it tomorrow or next week, I want to see a close-up photo of the face sculpt, because I'm interested in the face sculpt and the rooted hair version. I think a lot of people are. I want to see a very close-up, just like a portrait shot, just of the head sculpt, from the front, from the back, from the left and the right. So I want each profile, the left and right, and I want it well lit, high res and close up. I don't think that's too much to ask, because it's funny what they've done here. Like this, he looks really sad here. Now I know he was very emo in the movie, but he looks really sad here. I'm not sure what's going on here, because now I don't think, by the way, I'm not looking at this going, oh my god, this is absolute trash. Sometimes what I've noticed about people in the community is something's either a 0 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. All I'm saying is that the hair could probably be a bit more, kind of sit a bit better. And there's something about the head sculpt, possibly the nose, that it's just thrown off a bit. Now, what I'm going to do is just compare it to a photo I have here. So this is an earlier photo that they had from an earlier event they have. This is possibly the Shanghai event, I can't remember. But here the hair is sitting a little bit better than here. Now it could be just that this just needs a bit more TLC, a bit of styling before they ship them out. And I presume they're going to put them on those little into those little tubes, the transparent tubes, and then stick them onto the little peg at the bottom. And I've heard from a lot of collectors that they had a hard time separating the head sculpt from those pegs. I didn't, because when I got the rooted 2-pack, they were flopping around inside of the tube. So working on it. A year later, it looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel to get the replacement, because I had 2 copies of the one sculpt. But look, maybe this just needs a little bit of styling. Right, so that would take care of the hair. But the sculpt, like I'm looking at the nose here, and I'm looking at the nose here. Is the shape of the nose different, or is it just the angle and lighting? Are we possibly looking at the same 2 sculpts here, the same 2 exact products? Because this one here looks more like Robert Pattinson. Maybe it's the lighting, maybe it's the angle. It is kind of hard to tell, to be honest. But this definitely looks a lot sadder. But again, it could be with the position of the eyes. The eyes are looking up here, but they're looking up slightly to the right here. They're looking kind of almost forward, maybe slightly up. I can see Robert Pattinson. I can definitely see Robert Pattinson. But I just think this is really strange, the photos they chose to put out there, because they did say in that little blog attached to these photos that this is their final product. And this seems like someone who's going on a first date with someone they like and wearing clothes that are 5 years old. It's like, it's very strange. Why wouldn't they put their best foot forward? And like, they've done a phenomenal job marketing that Joaquin Phoenix 4-pack. That was stunning. The photography was amazing. The little video they did for that was like top tier production. Hats off. Like, absolutely sold me on it, because it was one I was 50-50 on, because I didn't necessarily need 4, but just on the craftsmanship, I've gone and pulled the trigger on that. The photography on the Paul Atreides I thought was fantastic as well. Now, granted, they're prototype images, but they should be doing the same for this. And look, maybe, just maybe, this is just the first few photos, and then the official release photos will hit us like a freight train, and then like anyone worried, like, you know, you put your we can relax and everything. So like, I'm basically saying I'm not committing to either way on this. I think this, I'm interested in this. I have the single rooted Batman on pre-order. I think it does look like Robert Pattinson, but maybe not as much as this. So let's just flick through the rest of these images here, because I think it's underwhelming. and I'm not ready to call this out as trash or anything like that. I just think it's the way that they did it was very strange. But we've seen it before. The first time we saw Aragorn, it was awful. It was terrible. And then the prototype images come out, and it was the best prototype I've ever seen in 6 scale, in my opinion. Now, but that was a prototype. But now we have an actual release. But we have seen this before. Even with the Joker, they had a few final production images, and then we're like, is that it? And then more came. I think the same thing happened with Gandalf and possibly Pennywise. Very strange way of doing things. I have no interest in this. Like, I tend not to collect civilians. The only kind of Bruce Wayne that I have an interest in is when they eventually do the DX19 style of Batman from The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, the second suit he has in the trilogy, my personal favourite Batsuit ever. I'm going to have to take a look at that. I'm hoping they do the DX19 and then they do a 2-pack with the Bale Batman. That's something I would get on board with. Apart from that, the only 2 figures I really have, which would be, you could consider them civilians. They're not really the Arthur and Tommy Shelby from Peaky Blinders. Well, technically they're just regular humans. They don't have any, not superheroes. They're nothing from science fiction. They don't have any special powers or abilities. They're not mutants, but they are awesome. But the yeah, I mean, it's although I gotta say, big fan of Cillian Murphy, big fan of Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan. Delighted he's got the Oscar. I am looking at that Yixi custom, but look, that's another bridge, and that's a different video. So I wouldn't be interested in this. I think he got a lot of stick about, they were saying, oh, he was good in the suit, but he wasn't good at being Batman. I actually think that's on purpose. I think that he's so young, and he's so in, like, what's it, year 2 of being the Batman, that he is more the Batman than he is Bruce Wayne. He doesn't want to be Bruce Wayne. He wants to be the Batman. And I think what we're going to see in the later part, if they get a second movie and hopefully a trilogy, is that he's going to start to realize, I need to lean more into Bruce Wayne. I need to embrace Bruce Wayne to make sure no one puts 2 and 2 together and figures out I'm the Batman. And also, sometimes he can do, like, bat work, detective work as Bruce Wayne, you know? So he can walk into these, like, I think there was there a scene in the Batman when he went into the Iceberg Lounge, because he was Bruce Wayne, so they just let him in, and he's like, okay, that's a bit easier than going into Batman. Anyway, so I think he's going to really grow into the part of Bruce Wayne as he gets older and the trilogy develops. Hopefully it's a trilogy, because I really like the first one. But this does absolutely nothing for me. It just really doesn't. I think maybe if, like, I mean, you could argue, like, why would the Bale do anything for it? Because I think that stood the test of time. I like the Dark Knight trilogy. I actually love the Dark Knight trilogy. It's my favorite trilogy from my favorite director. I'm going off on a tangent again, but my point is that is so iconic to me that I'm willing to get the Bruce Wayne version if they do it. But this, very underwhelming, and I don't particularly think, I gotta say, I think Hot Toys do better sculpted hair. INART, from what I've seen, have the edge when it comes to rooted hair, but I do think that Hot Toys have the edge when it comes to sculpted hair. Just my opinion. Of course, everything on this is my opinion, it's my channel. Yeah, this is very obvious. Like, the whole thing is, we know it's made out of plastic. We know it's sculpted, not rooted. We know it's not actually a 6-scale human being, but it's supposed to kind of trick us a bit more, and this is fooling no one. I would go as far as saying, like, these are images, I think, what we've got from INART so far, the rooted 2-back, whereby it had its issues, but by all accounts, stunning. Same as the Gandalf, same as the Pennywise, whether you like Pennywise or not, they're fantastic figures. This here, though, this was something that made me think, is this an April Fool's joke? Because that sculpted hair does not look good at all. Right, so we move on. So again, very strange choice. I'm hoping these aren't the official release photos. They're basically saying it's a final product. These are some images of it, but I'm hoping we see some really, really good final release products. Now here, torches. Okay, fine, grand. Super, you get a torch. I can't remember what this thing is. Is this the adrenaline shot he takes? I really cannot remember. Or is this the flare? Let me know in the comment section down below. I don't want to look it up. Is this... Did he have a gas canister or something? I need to watch this movie again. So these are all different accessories that come out, and they all look good. This looks really nice. In fairness now, this does look really nice. This is kind of grappling gun. Was there an issue with the Hot Toys one that the regular version didn't come with the grappling gun or something like that, but had the slot in the leg, or the holster for the grappling gun? I remember something about that. I got the deluxe one, so I kind of hopefully won't have that issue. I think the grappling gun comes with the all-in version, or the deluxe. Bunch of hands. Some more hands, your Batarang, cowls. You would think that whether these are the official final, they don't seem like blogger images. This seems like someone with a phone or whatever. But is it too much to ask for these photos? Take one snap, just one, of the Batman with the cowl. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. Like, I'm a fan of INART. I am a fan of INART. They're not perfect, of course. This has been delayed and delayed and delayed. They're announcing a lot of figures, and the releases are coming slower and slower. I'm a very, very patient person, but patience is a spectrum. Like, when do you kind of go, okay, I can deal with a 6-month delay, but I'm not going to deal with a 7-month delay or a 9-month delay or a year delay. Now, Hot Toys delay stuff all the time. Remember Endgame Cap, Loki, Cable? Like, there's loads of these. There's Gamora there that took for ages. So we're you know, like, if to be fair, like, they're not doing anything that Hot Toys haven't done before in terms of like really, really delaying releases. But I really don't think they've put their best foot forward with these. I'm hoping that these are just, okay, they're finished. You know, don't worry, just be patient with us. You know, we're getting onto it. Here's a few photos just to keep us at bay, and then hopefully in the next, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, in the next week or two, we get a bunch of proper official blogger photos, and I want to see the close-ups of all those head sculpts, the front, the back, the left and the right profile. I just think that's what they need to do. Put the cowl on Batman. That's the name of the character. That's the name of the product that you're trying to sell. That is a no-brainer. Yeah, so look, what I want to do now is go back through some of the last few posts. This is from the Instagram official Facebook. So this was a post where they're kind of saying, this is the post before the final product post that I just showed you. And this is basically going, have patience, bear with us. So there's 2 photos, him with the cowl on, which is fantastic. And this looks stunning, no questions. I think this looks stunning. Like, the proportions here look a lot better than the proportions here. Like, his shoulders do look very broad there, and the head does look kind of small. Now again, the cowl is on this, so maybe that's what's making a difference. I'm not entirely sure, because I suppose you could argue that the cowl on the outside might add that extra little bit of thickness, but then again, the hair here would make his head seem bigger. Like, you wouldn't be able to fit that hair in the cowl, so it's a bit strange like that. Like, yeah, look, this image here looks great. If you even like zoom in, I think there's loads of little nicks and like scuffs on the top of the cowl. And the cowl kind of looks like a leathery material, which is kind of cool. I presume it's made out of plastic, but it's very good. Now here, that image is one of the same as the ones, say, on the other tab that I have open here. I think this is the same as this. I'm nearly sure they're from the same place. I'm not entirely sure, but this here looks more like Robert Pattinson than, say, this does. Now I can still see Robert Pattinson in both of them. I just think this is a bit better. This is the chin as well. This chin here looks very angular. Okay, it's hard to tell there with the shadow on it. Okay, so that was the second last post on the INART official Facebook. This one here, this is from the 27th of December, did it say? Oh no. After losing it, I'll flick through this. 27th, yeah, I'll just flick through and find this. I think this is probably Shanghai event or something like that. And again, that looks great. And even if you look at the proportions there, the shoulders look narrow, the head looks bigger. Like here, looks absolutely jacked. Like, he looks like it's almost in a robotic suit. It kind of like, you know the way sometimes in, say, like, I don't know, Captain America Civil War, when you have Iron Man and he has the nanotech helmet, but the rest of the suit is not nanotech. And then he removes the nanotech helmet and he looks jacked, because that makes sense, because he's a guy in a big armored suit. Whereas this shouldn't be as big as an Iron Man suit around him. It should be a bit thinner, I'd imagine. Whereas here, the proportions look a bit more accurate from what I remember. Again, please let me know if you disagree with me in the comment section. Nothing wrong with that. Once your tone is okay. So the hair here, I think the hair looks a lot better than what we've seen here, but maybe it's just a bit of TLC. There's a lot of hair going on there, whereas I think they've kind of nailed it there. It's long enough. It's not as poofy. It could be just need a bit of styling. And I think the face looks a bit more like Robert Pattinson here. I think that looks pretty damn incredible. Be interesting if they were the same ones, but I don't think they are. Then this one here was from a previous post even prior to that. I think that looks incredible. I think that looks incredible with the cowl on, all the scuffs and all the nicks. They need to show. See this, like, this is what I want to see from them. For their final final images and actually show us close-ups so we can see the details, so we can appreciate the sculpt and appreciate the texture on the skin, or if there's any, I don't know, is there a bit of mustache going on there? I don't really think there's, maybe a bit of stubble. Like that looks incredible as well. The sculpted hair isn't good. I just don't think I haven't seen an INART figure yet where the sculpted hair was good. Like the sculpted hair, I don't think the sculpted hair in the Joker was good. I think the sculpted hair on the Hot Toys Joker that is due for release is actually a bit better. I do think the rooted hair on INART is better than Hot Toys from what I've seen so far. Maybe the artist will make me change my mind. There was no Gandalf sculpt, obviously, sculpted hair. Let me see, the Pennywise, I think there was sculpted hair, but that was kind of in the same place anyway. It was kind of like a very defined look. The Aragorn sculpt was actually quite good in certain photos. It kind of fooled me for a second. I had to watch it again. But this looks very animated, that hair there. And the same here, yeah. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is good. Like, it seems to be like, it has the look, as in the proportions. The volume of the hair is right. Whereas here, let me just get another photo and zoom in on this. Like this isn't terrible. This isn't terrible. This just needs a little bit of work. Whereas here, it has the work. It's a little bit shorter. The volume it looks a bit more wetter and sweaty, like the way it's supposed to look. Maybe just people have prodded and put the TLC into this and the styling in to get it looking like that. Even kind of a slight kind of a shadow of like a mustache here, a little bit of stubble, I think. The mascara and the eyes looks good. The expression looks good. This looks a lot more like Robert Pattinson than, say, this one here. And this one it's not bad. I think maybe it's got a bit of a unnecessary hate in the comment section and stuff like that. So yeah, look, there are my thoughts. I'm keen. I'm a bit underwhelmed by the photos, these photos that we saw yesterday. I'm a bit underwhelmed with them. Very strange we didn't give us close-ups of the head sculpts. Sculpted hair I don't think looks well. Strange way to give us a bunch of accessories and not one photo of Batman with the cowl on. I don't know, I think these are maybe taken with someone in a rush or with a phone or something like that. Yeah, so look, that's the end of the video. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of these images or not, or I still have faith. I want to see what the final product actually looks like with a bunch of different photos. Okay, so I don't think it's panic stations just yet. We've seen this before with INART. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.